Eric Mulero leads the Mulero Group located in San Antonio, Texas. Eric has been in real estate for over 10 years, and I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about Eric and his team's real estate career so far. So, Eric, starting from the very beginning, how did you get into real estate?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So I spent 22 years in the army and I was like, I do not want to do anything like this anymore. So um I thought about a few different fields and then real estate was one of those things where it was like there's no glass ceiling to real estate. I learned that there's no bottom as well. So but I and then as I started doing it, I just really enjoyed getting to know the people, helping people and that. So that's yeah, that's where it started.
Okay, very cool. I didn't know that. So, where did you get your first deal from after you entered the space?
It was my cousin. So
Okay.
yeah, my cousin and her husband were buying a house and fortunately they I guess they knew me as a human being and they just trusted me and realized, I was brand new, but everything worked out really well and it was a interesting first transaction like I'm sure most of them are, but yeah, everything worked out well. They're still in the house and
Oh, wow.
yeah, it all worked out well.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, whenever you started in real estate, did you join a team or did you go solo by yourself?
No, I was a solo agent. I really didn't honestly, I didn't know anything going in, so I didn't even realize there was teams, and this is 2000 and towards the end of 2012. I didn't know anything about teams at the time, and I was just like, "Okay, let's go." Yeah, how hard can this be?
Yeah, right. How hard can it be?
Right.
And so, I know that you now are team leader of a team. How did you go from solo agent to today, what, 12 years later to starting a team?
Yeah, so I think the main thing with that is I just wanted some support so I can do more. I wanted to offer my clients more, and I know I couldn't do it on my own. So I just needed help. And I don't have a large team or anything like that. It's I have it worded as the Malero group, but it's me, my wife, who does all the admin, all the back end stuff that I need help with and I have an ISA that helps me keep in contact with clients and just does a lot of those calls and stuff, so it frees me up to meet with folks. So yeah, that's
Okay.
that's my setup. So yeah.
Yeah, so you work with both buyers and sellers as
I
the main
yeah,
agent.
I do. I do. I still do. I'm about 50-50 now, which is a good mix for me. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so what led you to decide, like, are you planning to ever add on other agents, or are you pretty happy with the way that your group is structured right now?
No, I'm definitely gonna add on other agents. I just want to make sure that I have all the systems that I need in place. So when I bring them on, they can focus on all the tasks that they're gonna need to do. And yeah, I just need to build it a little differently so I can sustain.
Yeah, I understand. Some people start teams before they know what they're getting into, and then they
Right.
either have to quickly create a system or they have to say, I'm sorry, I don't have anything, and
That's right, and
everyone
I've
just
tried it, and I
learn.
didn't have a system, and I realized that was setting myself up for failure, so I don't wanna do that this time, and I wanna do it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where would you say the majority of your business comes from?
The majority of my business comes from my past clients and my sphere. I'm really fortunate for 12 years now I've been at this, that my sphere is just they want to work with me. They refer me to their friends and their family. So I've been really fortunate and blessed to just have those people in my corner. So yeah.
That's good. Do you generate any online leads on top of that to supplement?
Yes, I do. I have a steady stream of those coming in. I use Ylopo. I have Follow Up Boss as my main CRM, and that just Follow Up Boss is like wonderful. And what you have provided for me is also wonderful because it I don't know how else to say it, but it just keeps the engine going. And it's fantastic, what I've been able to do with Follow Boss and the systems that you've provided for me. So, and then the new leads at Lopo's coming in. It's just a continuous cycle, and I love the way it's set up. So
That's
yeah.
great. So how did you land on Follow Up Boss as your CRM and Ylopo as your website provider and lead gen?
Yeah, so Follow Up Boss, I was doing research because I had a CRN back in the day, and there were just certain things that it was just missing, and I was like, okay, it doesn't have this, it doesn't do this, it doesn't, there was a few pain points that I was missing. And then after I did some research, and the coaching company that I'm with, a lot of people said, hey, check out Follow Up Boss. So I did that, and it's like now it's like I can never leave it because
Hmm.
it just it has it does everything. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then so you started with Follow Boss first, and then how did you find Ylopo and when did you add it on?
Yeah, so what I was a client with Zillow for years, and then I was like, okay, there's this stuff is getting kind of expensive.
Mhm.
I'm spending, thousands and thousands of dollars a month on these Zillow leads, and then there was a time when they weren't the ROI was getting a little slim. So I really took a deep dive with Ylopo and checked out what they have, and the systems that they have, and how they have the back end, was just something that I was like, okay, this is something that sounds really good. I'm just gonna roll with it. So I switched, and it's been really good. Saving money, saving time. They have so many there's just so much that they offer, to where it's just benefiting so many different parts of the business, that it's another thing that's like, "Man, I can't leave this." So yeah.
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 Yeah, that's great. So how long have you been using Follow Boss on like if you were to estimate how many years have you been using Follow Boss and then Ylopo?
Oh, wow. Okay, so Follow Up Boss, I don't remember. Sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, but it's been, probably more than 5 years or so. So there's been, and then the great thing about that is, it's like they just add in so much over time, that it's like, "Oh, this is fantastic. They added this. Oh, this is great. I didn't know I can use this. Oh, this is," so everything that they've done has, since then, it's just wonderful new things that they've added in. Lopo, I think I've been with them for maybe about 4 years or something, and, they are just, I mean, they knock it out of the park. They're just getting better and better. So yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
So you signed up for two powerful products. You signed up for Follow Up Boss as your CRM, which
Mhm.
is like, in my opinion, best in class CRM. And then you signed up for a powerhouse of a product, Ylopo, which is like website lead generation. If you use their AI stuff, they have a lot of
Yes.
powerful tools. And you said that you really like both of them. So what problems were you experiencing with your Follow Up Boss CRM to where you started to seek outside help?
Me. I was the problem. So, there was, I don't think I was taking, so there was only so much that one person, or that you're able to do, and then it's like, okay, there's got to be a different way. And then somebody mentioned your system, and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. And you and I hopped on a call. I remember this, and I was like, wow, this is something that's really cool. This is gonna be a game changer for me, because, it's hard when you're meeting with people. I don't have time to make calls if I'm in a car driving, or if I'm at an appointment, and this, and that's where I was just, that was my pain point, was just there's not enough time in the day to do it all. So that's when I looked into your action plans. I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself in
No, you're
anything.
not. No, go ahead.
Okay, okay, perfect. So then, we hopped on the call. You showed me the action plans and the system that you had, and I was like, I was like, wow, this is going to be it. And this is the and I will give you this as a testimonial to how well it works. It was a week after we set it up, and then all of a sudden I received an email back, and I didn't know what was going on at the time, but the system started rolling, and it was from a client that, and I met them through iLopo, but they just, for whatever happened, was they didn't end up buying at the time. That, they just kind of fell off. So I got a call, I got an email about a week from them saying, "Hey, we need to meet." And I was like, "Okay, great." She said, "We're going to list our house, and we want to use you. You were great. Just didn't work out at the time for buying. We just changed our mind." And then I was like, how in the world I was like, how did this happen? So I went back into the system, and one of the triggers that from the action plan that you had triggered them, set up the email. With a message from me, I didn't even know what happened. They called me, and we had that conversation. A couple of days later, I'm in a listing appointment, and this is in our market. Our market at the time, the average price was, around $300,000, and they had a $750,000 listing on the golf course. I'm like, yes, this is great. So it just worked out so well, and then I was like, this is what I needed. And got the listing, sold the house. We still keep in touch. They're clients for forever for me. So
And that's
I don't
that's
know how
awesome. That's a
I
great
don't know how better
story.
it gets than that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did they end up eventually buying as well?
No, they did not. Moved out of
Oh,
the
okay.
area, and
Yeah.
they just had a total change in what their plan was going to
Oh, I
be,
see.
but it just worked out.
Yeah. So, you may not know all of the ins and outs, but can you share, you mentioned the words action plans. Can you share what you currently now have set up in Follow Boss?
Yeah, so, well, I don't know, I can't articulate it that well, but, yeah, the way we have it set up in Follow Up Boss is, what if change a stage, there's a trigger that's set, add a tag, there's an action plan that's added after that, and then all of a sudden, that's when the magic starts happening, and emails and texts and, all the system that you have set up in the action plans, they just start working, and they do a great job with following up with people, with reminding people, and reminding me when I see emails come through, and there's questions that are asked, and it's just this wonderful system that's set up for, I could just speak about me, someone like me who's really diligent in trying to work and really diligent in trying to follow up, but just can't do it all. And then your system kicks in, and it's an it's just an extra hit.
That's great. So remind me, when did we originally connect? When was our first call?
Oh my gosh. I would have to go back and look. I'm sorry, but it's been a few years. It's probably been 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, yes, you've been,
Right?
yeah, yeah. I was thinking the same. I think
Yeah,
it's been a
yeah.
while. So you've been using this system for 2, 3 years.
Yes.
So I love that. I love that story of that person who responded and you listed their house. So what does your daily workflow look like now with this setup in your Follow Boss account?
Yeah, daily workflow is, in fact, yesterday, there was I went over the tasks, and what it showed me was, okay, I needed to get in touch with this person because their home anniversary was coming up, and I was like, oh, here we go. So I was like, reached out to them, and they sent me I just texted them. They sent me a text back. Oh, I can't believe it's almost been a year. So it's like just little reminders of what you need to do to keep the business moving. Let your clients, let hey, look, this is something that you should do for your clients. And it's very helpful.
Good, good. So last question as we wrap up the conversation. I'm putting you on the spot, so you may have to think about this one.
Uh-uh.
But I'd love to hear of one unique strategy or lesser known tip that you've implemented in your business that has some sort of impact, whether it's some type of lead management tip, client retention, something you do to keep in touch with past clients. something that has helped your business grow. Can you think of one lesser known tip that you've implemented for your business?
The I'll tell you this, I think the main thing is, and it just it's not really a tip, it's nothing that nobody doesn't know, but I think it's one of the most things that realtors tend to forget to do is just be there for the people that you've already helped. And if they know, most 99% of the time, they still like you. So just keep in touch with those people, because that's like the core of it all. And just love on them.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Well, I appreciate it, Eric. People will find this super helpful. That's really cool to hear about your story. I can't believe you were in the Army for 22 years. Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
And what an awesome story that you segued into real estate. So wish you all the best and really appreciate your time today.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Eric. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye bye.